Hi, my name is Brian with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. The tools needed for this repair are a flathead screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a socket wrench with a 3/8 socket, and a putty knife. Alright, we have a Whirlpool dryer. It's the Whirlpool Cabrio style dryer. Electric dryer, and the complaint is that it makes a noise while it's running. Everything works, heat works, dries the clothes, but it makes a noise. So we'll show you what it's doing here. We'll just turn it on, start it up. So you get that kind of that squeaking noise that you're getting. Right now it's not as loud as it was, and with a load of clothes, a load of wet, heavy clothes in there, it gives more of a high-pitched or a louder sound to it. So you can kind of hear it a little bit better there coming in and out. And what that is going to be our Idler Pulley that holds tension on our belt. It's just the pulley that rolls around the metal shaft there of the Idler Pulley. It just starts to squeak. So to replace or to fix the noise issue, we're going to have to replace our Idler Pulley. Not sure of a good way I can show you how to test that. I just know from experience the noise from the Idler Pulley. You could disassemble it, which we're going to show you on the repair that we're going to do, and you can kind of rotate it by hand to see if it squeaks. A lot of times on these ones you won't hear the noise just by manually rotating them. Sometimes they are bound up, they don't spin freely, and sometimes you'll get the noise by spinning them, but a lot of times you won't. So you can check that and find out from there. Another way that you can view it and at least look at it is to take this bottom panel off here. And to take the bottom panel off, you're going to use something flat to be able to get in between the two panels. There's two clips on each side. So you're going to put your, I'm using a putty knife in this case, we're going to depress the tab inside there and pull it out. And that side came out on that time, but you usually have to do both sides. And then the bottom just sits onto two clips that go through the frame of this bottom panel here. And the Idler Pulley is going to be behind this, in the back there. You can see it kind of on an angle here, back inside there. Behind all this, you can see the Idler Pulley that the belt wraps around, and without taking it all the way apart, there's really not any way you can test it to see if that's where your noise is coming from. You can kind of pinpoint it better by listening to it run with this panel off, but I don't advise anybody to check anything here with power on, so that's about as far as we can go. Alright, so to replace our Idler Pulley, first thing we got to do is gain access to the inside of the unit. To do that, we have to remove our lid and then our front panel. So what we got to do first to remove our lid is to remove the 3/4-inch screws across the top of the back panel back here. Alright, now that we got the 3 screws out of the top of the back panel here, the metal frame that attaches to the back panel, we're going to remove our console here, and to do that there's going to be two spring clips on each side, and we're going to take the putty knife again and push those in and release the tab on both sides. This one already came undone, so we're going to go ahead and lift our console up here, and then what we're going to see are 2 screws on either side, 1/4-inch screws here. That's going to hold our lid in place. So what we're going to do is remove those 3 screws. I'm sorry, there's one in the middle also. So we're going to take those out. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to unplug our console from our control board. There's just a tab you have to move over to the right to release the connector, so we can set this off to the side out of the way. And now we can pull our lid forward to release it from 2 tabs in the front here, and we can lift that up. We'll just let that rest right there. And then now there's going to be 2 1/4-inch screws in the front that hold our front panel to the frame here. So we're going to remove those. And then we're going to have our lid switch wire connector here. I use a flat blade screwdriver to slide in between and release the tab on each side to disconnect it. Alright, and there's going to be 2 screws at the bottom of the front panel to remove from the cabinet on each side. At the bottom here. Alright, let's see, on this one, well, first we got our wire connector here to our moisture sensor that we can disconnect so we can take off the front panel. And on this one, we're going to remove the 1/4-inch screw. There's one at the bottom of the duct here that we're going to take out. And one on the far left side here that we're going to remove. I believe we'll be able to leave the top 2 in place. Those attached to the front panel, and when we take the front panel off, the air duct will come with it. Looks like we're going to have these 2 springs on either side to release. They're just hooked onto the hinge of the door, and they go into a clip or a hole in the frame in the bottom here. So we're going to take the springs out. And now we should, let's see, be able to remove our front panel. We're going to hold the drum up so it's off of the rear or the front drum supports on this panel and remove it. So that lip of our drum here sits on these front rollers or front drum supports. So now we can remove our front panel or get it out of the way here. The next step is going to be removing our belt so we can remove our drum. And I'm just going to have to secure the lid here or remove it completely so it's not resting on the drum and fall when I take the drum out here. So, alright, and to remove our belt, we're going to be pulling the idler pulley over to the right and then releasing the belt from around the motor shaft. Or actually, on this one, we're moving the pulley over to the left to relieve tension and then releasing our belt from around the motor shaft. And once that's done, we can lift our drum off the rear drum supports and pull it straight out. Alright, now we can see the inside of the dryer here, and this is our idler pulley in the back that's making all the noise, and you can feel, you can see and feel actually that it's bound up. It should spin freely when I spin it here. It's not making the noise, maybe a little bit. There it goes. If we spin it around, you kind of get that noise when it was running. But you can also see there's an indentation in the pulley where it hasn't been rotating with the belt freely. It looks like the belt's been rotating around the pulley and it's worn a groove through the plastic of the pulley. So that's a sign there that there's something wrong with our pulley. And alright, so to remove our idler pulley here, there's going to be a spring attached to it. We're not going to worry about that for the time. There's going to be a 3/8 bolt that holds it to the motor mount here through the back side of the motor. So I'm going to take a 3/8 socket here and loosen that up. And now the spring just kind of falls off of the idler pulley there. Our spring's going to connect to the hole of the motor mount down there, and then it's going to connect to the idler pulley in this slot here. So, and then this is the bolt that we removed from the idler pulley. You can see it has a bump out here at the end of the threads on the bolt, and that's so it goes through our idler pulley hole there, and then the idler pulley can swivel around that. So when we put it back together, you want to make sure that that's seated in there properly. And now you can see how the idler pulley here on the old one, how the belt rubbed a groove into this left side here, this roller, the idler pulley wheel. That should not be there. It should be all flat like the right side here. Alright, so we got the new idler pulley here. You can see that it's not grooved out like the old one was. It's nice and flat inside here where the belt ride, and it also spins freely. It's not bound up, so we're going to go ahead and attach our spring. Like I said, the spring here goes into the hole of this motor mount down here, and it's going to go into this hole here, the pulley. So we'll get that set up there, and then we're going to go ahead and put our bolt through the idler hole here and get it started into the base there. And then you want to make sure it gets seated where it has a bump out on the bolt at the end of the threads into the hole of the idler pulley. Alright, and test it out. So when our belt goes around the idler pulley comes up here to hold tension on it. It wraps underneath the idler pulley here and around our motor shaft. So that looks good there. We're ready to reassemble everything. So the first thing to do is put our drum back in. And this drum is actually reversible, so you can put it back in either way. It's the same in both directions. We'll go ahead and place it onto the rear rollers. Set our lid back down. Alright, then you're gonna get the belt. You can see the groove of on the drum where the belt sat. So you wanted to get it close to that area, and we're going to reattach the belt. We're going to pull the idler pulley over to the left, wrap the belt underneath it, and then around the motor shaft. And you're going to do that. You want your belt around the drum the same way you took it off, with the rubber grooves down on top of touching the drum here, facing down, and then that will also be connected, those ribs, to the grooves of the motor shaft when you wrap it around. So now that we got that on there, we can go ahead and put our front panel back on. Alright, and then we're going to be putting this on. The top's going to go over the top of here, the two sides, and we're going to lift the drum up and set it on top of our two front drum supports. Put the drum on onto the bearing first and onto the supports, and then I'll lift this up and set it on the two sides here. And the first thing I'm going to do is put our two screws that hold the panel onto the two sides of the cabinet here. Now we can put our two screws back in for our lint screen air duct here. And we can reattach our wiring harness for our sensor and our two springs for the door. There's a hole that the spring goes through at the bottom here and through the cabinet. And then we're going to have to look up here and attach it to the hole of the hinge. Let's test the door out here with the springs and everything. Alright, next we can go ahead while we're down here and put our front panel back on. Actually, I'm going to wait to do that so we can look at it as we test it out, make sure everything inside is good. So at this point we can put our two screws back in for the top of the front panel to each side, and we can reattach our lid switch harness not our lid switch harness, but our door switch harness here. Push them together until it snaps into place. And now we can put our lid back on. And when we're putting the lid back on, what we're doing is we want to get these two tabs on each side underneath the cutout, so it slides over top of the bottom lip of the top panel here. Set that on and push it back. Lift up on the front to make sure it's secure and they went where they were supposed to go. And then we have the 3 screws that hold on the back. So we got our 3 screws to reinstall in the console area back into the top panel. Alright, we're just going to check all of our wire connections up here to make sure nothing came loose from where we swiveled the lid around with everything connected there. And we can go ahead and reinstall our console. We're just going to plug our wiring harness in for the console back into the control board where we took it out of. There's a tab that will lock it into place, make sure it locks in. And then when reinstalling the console here, we have 2 tabs on each side and then our spring clamp on each side. So the 2 tabs go into the 2 holes in the back, and then the spring clamp will snap into place with the 2 holes in the front. And we have also, what we have to line up is our back panel. The metal here is just going to go sit into place around the edge here. This is kind of grooved out for it. It should slide right where it's supposed to go. Line everything up and then snap it down into place. And then reinstall the 3 screws that we took out that go from that into that metal panel into the console. Alright, now we can go ahead and plug it in, start it up, test it out. And everything started up, sounds good, everything is running. We're going to make sure that it heats up and everything down in the front looks good before we put our front panel back on. And you can tell already that it's nice and quiet. The noise went away that was happening with the old Idler Pulley. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com.